Welcome goals, our romance and new travelers from every corner of the known and unknown lands. I'm Ko, your fellow Asterix fan, and in today's episode we will talk about Asterix, the Kingdom of Nubia. Attention, this video may contain spoilers. Guess how excited I was to see the news about the first teaser for the next Asterix movie. If you know me, you know that I'm a huge fan of the first two 3D animated films with our goals, and I have probably watched them hundreds of times already. So I was filled with joy when they announced another one this year. From the information we have for now, follows that it's a brand new story made just for this movie, which is the same case as in the latest productions, The Secret of the Magic Potion and The Middle Kingdom. It will also come in the form of an illustrated album on the same day as a premiere in December, illustrated once again by the brilliant Fabrice Tarin. I hope I pronounced his name right, if not, sorry. But what do we exactly know about the story so far? The indomitable Gauls, while holding out against the Roman attack, are turned into harmless children after a rare youth elixir accidentally ended up into a magic potion, as we can find in the movie's summary on some websites, which obviously most of the villagers drank before starting kicking Roman's asses. Panoramics rushed to inform Asterix and Obelix about the situation, and the only antidote, the baobab, placed far, far away from where they live, namely in the Kingdom of Nubia. The whole conversation was overheard by a spy hired by Romans. I assume he will be the main antagonist for the story, because we all know that centurions are always the bad guys, but are not the key part of the plot. Yes, I see you, Fast and Furious, but we'll not talk about you now. Of course they will have troubles during the journey. Asterix will turn into a child just like the rest of the village, where Panoramix tries his absolute best not to freak out with the bunch of toddlers. Finally, arriving in the kingdom, they will meet a supportive character of this story, a little girl who will, as I assume, guide Asterix to their leader, and help them find a cure for the whole village. From the trailer, we know that the kingdom is also in danger of Roman attacks, so they will join forces at the end. We don't know exactly what role that little Nubian girl will play, but I hope it will be a major one and it won't be just a stopgap in the middle of the film. Now that I've summarized what is happening in the trailer, it's time for the things I already like and I'm 100% sure won't disappoint me when I go to see the whole film at the cinema. Positives. 1. Character designs. You have no idea how scared I was for a second when they introduced the name of this movie. I have really bad flashbacks to the first Asterix albums where people of color were presented, unfortunately, really racist and stereotypical. I know those were a bit different times, but that was so bad. Really bad. Thank God they changed it over time, especially when Didier Conrad took over the comics visuals. So, about the character designs, the Nubians are stunning. I love how they made them look different and unique. They also gave them a variety of body types, which I really appreciate seeing in any production. The colors, the unique fabrics, the patterns, of course inspired by real Nubians back in the ancient times, but those are still great design choices. The Queen of the Kingdom looks powerful and the fabric on her face makes her even more interesting to me. I'm 100% sure many people from the fandom will simp for her, including or for that stupid centurion, because he's a centurion, so it's kinda obvious they will. We have a brand new centurion stationed in one of the Roman camps. His design is like if Nefarious Porpus and Felix Platypus had a kid together. And I can't see that. Not gonna lie, I thought we will have Centurion Somniferous once again, but I guess he has enough after 2 movies. In the first he ended up in the arena, and in the second one he almost died. I will miss his bald head and hilarious reaction to these stupid legendaries. About Roman designs, they use the previous models like in the other movies, but they still look good. Okay, maybe with just one detail that bothers me a lot, but it's probably just my problem. I'm talking about the lack of the thicker black line on the military clothes, which was always there, but for some reasons it's the thin one and barely visible. I think it's just my stupid artist eye issue, so it's fine. Also, we need to stop for a second to look at this centurion, because oh man, his armor looks so cool. The zebra pattern on his helmet and the belt made of a big cat fur. Come on, I love that design choice. About the Nubian men, they look typical, Nothing special to be honest, but the Kingdom of Nubia was led by women and the stories were created around them, so I get they didn't pay attention to details on them. Well, we have one Nubian man with a more complex design, and he kinda reminds me of my own character, because he seems like some sort of medic, shaman, a bit crazy man, but also intelligent in a way. I don't know anything about him, but I think he will be my favorite from the movie. 2. Fight scenes. We don't have many fight scenes shown in the trailer for obvious reason, we don't want to see too many spoilers, but I guess there won't be anything to complain about in this area of the movie. From what we have already, it will be pretty dynamic action with many characters included, so it definitely won't be boring. I'm really interested in this scene particularly, because it looks so good. 3. Comeback of the old characters. Pectin is back, guys! God, you have no idea how happy I was to see her even in the background of the teaser. I would love to see her playing a bigger role. I don't know, maybe in fighting against the Romans. She's a little engineer, so she would definitely try to craft something that could help them, or panoramics with a bunch of toddlers. I adored her in the previous movie and I wished for her appearance in any other productions or comics. We also have Flaturta? Flatura? How the hell you pronounce that name? Okay, give me a second. Just like that. I still can't say that. Well, he's back as a companion of our goals in their journey, and the legendary Tofongas as some sort of right hand of a new centurion. They were key characters in the movie Asterix and Dimension of the Gods, and I'm glad we can see them once again. 4. Jokes. To be honest with you, 2 moments already put a smile on my face, especially the one at the end where 2 Nubian women joke about Asterix height.
De baobab. Croque. Oh. Et voilà, ça fait rien du tout.
Mais si ça a marché.
Mets-toi debout pour voir.
Je suis debout.
Or geriatrics from old man changing into an old baby? That man was born old, okay? I think we will not be disappointed with the humor, I mean, as always. It feels like an Asterix vibe, so I think all or at least most of the jokes will stay on the same good level as in comics and movies. Now that I've got myself and perhaps you two all excited with these good things, it's time to spoil the fun a bit with the things I'm about to start complaining about. And as you may know, we Poles love complaining, so better sit down because I have a lot to say. Negatives. 1. New models for characters and visual quality. We are not blind to not notice that whatever happened to the old models from the 2 previous 3D movies went in a bad direction. Just as Obelix and other characters don't look entirely that bad, Asterix doesn't look like the Asterix we all know and love. I found the artist who overdraws the trailer screenshots and it pretty much shows what is wrong there. The noses look off, they seem on the side, which makes the whole face a bit disturbing in my opinion. When I focus on Asterix's face, I can't see his characteristic big eyes, now the pupils are pretty small, the classic big eyebrows are replaced with those thin ones, which I cry about the most because eyebrows, just like the noses, are my favorite parts of characters' face design and that is what makes them stand out from the others. Some textures, like for example on Asterix's feathers, look strange too. It's just too fluffy to imitate real feathers, and looks more like a fur. Also, in my opinion, adding so much details on the hair and the mustache also stands out from not much detailed skin and helmet. About the animation style, it seems too smooth, especially this part when Asterix is holding a baby. Also, the atmosphere, the graphics of the surroundings seem too natural compared to the characters. I'm not an expert about the backgrounds because I don't draw them that much, but I can easily tell the difference between interesting and simplified animation to the complex but too overwhelming graphics. But maybe it's just me who feels that way? If I didn't know, and someone would tell me that the secret of the magic potion was made many years before the Kingdom of Nubia, I would simply not believe that person. I'm sorry to say that, but the visuals, shading and lighting look more consistent in the previous film. Here it seems a bit disconnected at times. I know that it's the visual director's choices, but it's simply... I don't like it. I don't know why they decided to change the model's appearance or why it looks that way, Maybe they tried something new, which is fine. The movie and Asterix itself is focused for kids who doesn't really care about the differences like that. It's just me and other people my age and older that hurts the eyes a little bit. But we will be fine. Although, I think the story will consume me to the point where visuals won't bother me as much as now, and I will simply enjoy the movie. 2. Mistakes. First mistake, or maybe just me being picky, but since when Asterix and Obelix are going for boar hunting when the village is preparing to defend themselves from the Romans? I mean, I get it, other girls from the village can beat them without these two, but it's always Asterix who's the first in the line for the magic potion, as the village best warrior. And what? Now he doesn't know about the Romance attack? It's just as strange as Obelix not being excited about beating some soldiers. The second thing I found strange, and I hope they will explain it more in the full movie, is that why Asterix turned into a child but seems to still have the same mindset as in adult body, and is focused on mission, while all the members of the village are acting so childish. I'm sure he drinks the same amount of potion as others, so why is there a different side effect? And also, why would he even drink the potion in the first place if he knew what happened after consuming it? From that shot, they weren't surrounded by many soldiers, weren't in danger, we can only see that Roman spy who can be easily beaten by Obelix, so it just doesn't make sense to me. The third mistake is that somehow Obelix doesn't know what an elephant is. Are you kidding me? He literally saw those on the arena and other places. Not once, not twice, but at least 3 times. I won't even mention that he ate dishes made from elephant meat during 12 tasks from Caesar. And now he is somehow surprised that what are those animals? Oh, please. I know that the scene was just to make a joke about Obelix and his big appetite, but it's just a disappointing mistake. And last, maybe not a mistake, but I'm also curious how they will handle the plotline where the Romans attack a village full of nothing but children and a druid. Because let's face it will take quite a while for Asterix and Obelix to return from the mission with the antidote for the village, so who's going to defend it? Let me guess. It will be something silly like Panoramis getting the kids drunk on the magic potion and those little ones will end up fighting the whole camp. I mean, Caesar and Cleopatra's kid once got a dose of a potion and went on the rampage, so I think they will go down that route. But I hope they will surprise me with something else, because that would be cliché. 3. Antagonist. I know what you're thinking. How can I tell from the few clips that the antagonist will be bad? I fully don't, but I have the feeling that the Roman spy is another character of the type of intelligent antagonist who will try to cooperate with stupid centurion and simply fails. We had plenty of them in the comics already. Let me guess, he will be also a funny aspect of the movie, that he can hide in weird places, and I won't be surprised if he will even dress up as a woman to spy Asterix and Obelix on their mission. Which actually would be funny, but it's still predictable. He will be another Roman following orders without having much from it, but I hope I'm wrong and he will have more depth in the whole story. I would rather have low expectations for this character and later maybe be positively surprised, but for now he seems like another character made to make the journey a little bit more difficult for our goals, but without creating a real danger, as for example was in the case of Sulfurix in The Secret of the Magic Potion. I think that's it from my complaints, but also sharing what I like so far about the new production. I would love to know your opinion or theories about the new trailer in the comments section, or maybe even discuss with me if you disagree with any of my points featured in this video. At the end, I want to talk about the things I hope we will see in the movie, and maybe some sort of my prediction of what can happen. The first thing that comes to my mind is probably the music. All the classic Asterix animations have their own recognizable song. I wish for something good we remember. I hope there will be a nice plot twist, because for now the whole story seems predictable. And about the plot twist, I feel like that maybe Nubian man will become a Roman ally and cooperate with the spy. There will definitely be something with him, since we have him on the poster like any other important characters, and not much on the trailer itself. It's time for guessing some things. Asterix and Obelix will fight over something unimportant and stupid and accidentally get separated. The Nubian girl is the queen's daughter and Roman will kidnap her to demand surrender. There will be something stupid like using elephants to put out the fire using water from the Nile. And as I said before, the kids will fight to defend the village. Maybe not with the magic potion, but using something else. I think that's it for this video. This was so hard to record for me, but I hope it turned out good enough. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video. Bye!